Huh? This shit is crazy. This shit is crazy. Oh! He's dead and
That's what happened. I didn't know the right in a fucking phrase, you bitch.
So was it worth it? That's the question. If you think about it, the pain she felt and the rage that she was living with, it showed in her actions. You would think that after, she realized what she did, you would think that she might snap back to reality and have some type of remorse and feel some type of, pain towards or sorrow towards what she did. But as you can see in the video, even after she inflicted near death on him, she still continued to verbally, attack him. And we don't know what happened in that relationship. We don't know. So I'm not gonna just sit up and act like he was like the victim in a sense. Of course he was a victim in what happened to him. Him getting ran over, he was a victim in that situation. And her throwing the bumper on him, of course we know he was a victim in that, but outside of that, we don't know anything, pertaining to what they were actually going through in a relationship. But so that's what I mean by when I say, I'm not gonna sit up and act like he's just a victim. We don't know what he did. The title of this is it worth it? But I'm gonna make that a two-part question. Was it worth it and is it worth it? In her situation, was it worth it? In anybody's situation, where it was a relationship where you had physical abuse, was it worth it? Moving forward in the future, is it worth it? Let's attack the was first. Looking at what she did from the video, it looks like the guy, that it looks like he didn't die. It looked like they're about to put him on the stretcher, and like he was still alive. But because when people die, they leave the body there for the coroner to come get. Looking at his circumstance, looking at how he ended up, if he didn't die, I think they still will try to charge her with attempted murder, because from listening on the video, you hear somebody say that they had ran him over twice. She ran him over twice. She's going to get some time, but the amount is the question. But is any amount of time worth it? If you really think, you ask yourself that question. We're not. I mean, if she get 6 years, 7 years, was what she did worth 6 or 7 years in prison? Maybe more. I'm sure when the judge see the video and see that she didn't have any remorse towards what she did, maybe she'd get more time. Maybe that will influence the judge. But was it worth it? Was what she did to him worth it? Because if he is still living and he fully recovers, she'd probably still be in prison when he started back, with his normal life. Obviously, as we could see, you could hear her say in the video, "I gave you 18 years." So that's a pretty long time to be with somebody. Her running him over twice probably was just a build-up of a lot of stuff that she probably went through over the years with him. Probably being mistreated, you know. I pretty much, I probably can guess that he, you know, I don't know them, of course, but, you know, he probably was doing a lot, you know. Couples go through that. Couples go through different things. Men cheating, women cheating, the lies, manipulation, you know. People keep constantly playing with people's emotions and their feelings. Couples go through that, you know. From her, so looking at it from the perspective of a person that's going through that, you know, not to sound like this, but maybe she feel like it is worth it. Like, okay, the damage that I experienced dealing with this person, it's worth this pain that I'm about to inflict on them. You know, so maybe somebody do, you know, of course, somebody on the outside looking in, sensible people is going to say, no, it wasn't worth it, you know, because we were taught, you know, not to inflict pain on people, or we were taught, you know, the right way to live. But then you have some people that feel like vengeance is an option. Getting revenge on a person is an option, you know, and not saying that if that's the way a person feel. I'm not saying I condone it or think it's right, but was it worth it? Is the question that we're answering now. And to her, maybe it was. She didn't act like she even cared that she did it. She was still talking, and as you can see, she picked up the bumper and threw it on top of him after she had run him over. So to her, it probably was definitely worth it. You know, and maybe she'd get time and feel like while she's doing her time, maybe she'd feel like, yes, I still feel like it was worth it. You know, but so only she can answer that question, was it worth it? But of course we, you know, me and whoever's watching this video or someone who thinks about it, of course we're gonna say it wasn't worth it. To her, she might say it was. She might not have no remorse. Yes, it was worth it. People that kill people every day, people stab, you hear about people stabbing people 30 times, 20 times. That's rage that's built up, you know, and they release it. That's why it's dangerous to allow things to build up. Okay, was it worth it? Let's get on. Is it worth it? If you're dealing with a situation, it doesn't always have to be a relationship, like an intimate relationship with a companion. Let's say you have a friend, you know, a family member, a boss, a neighbor, you know, that's constantly inflicting some type of pain on you, whether it be emotional pain, whether it be physical pain, mental pain. Let's say we're dealing with that. It's important to find a way to release that pain. It's important, you know, whether it be through meditation, you know, whether it be through talking to somebody about it. But it's very important to find a way to release that pain, because is it worth it? Building it, holding it in, and allowing it to build up. Is it worth it? You know, is it worth continuously allowing yourself to deal with the situation that's building up some type of rage that you will release one day? Is it worth it? You know, and let's say if it's too late. Let's say if you get to the point to where the rage is already built up. Let's say you get to that point. It's already built up. You know, it's already to the point to where it's about to explode. Then that's when the question really comes in. You know, before you act on it, is it worth it? That's when it really comes in. Is it worth it? You know, you have to stop yourself. You have to have enough power. You have to be strong enough to stop yourself when you have the mind of doing something harmful to somebody. You know, you cannot be vengeful, because most of the time when people do things like that, they are remorseful after it, and then while they're paying for the punishment, you know, they realize that it wasn't worth it. So the is it worth it is for the person that's thinking about doing something harmful to another person over any situation. Is it worth it? Is it worth the consequences? It could be anything. It doesn't always have to be like going to jail. The consequence could be you doing something to somebody, harming somebody in some type of way, and it coming back on your kids. You could be with your kids one day, and the person's trying to get their revenge on you for harming them, and your kid get it. It could be a loved one. You know, it could be a cousin or, you know, some type of relative. So is it worth it doesn't have to just mean if I do something harmful to somebody, will it come back on me or will they come back with drama? No, is it worth it? Is it worth any consequence that could come from it? It can, you know, it might be somebody that you, the last person you wanted to deal with the consequence of your action might be that person to deal with it. So is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is it worth reacting to a person that, you know, pushes you to a certain limit? And then it doesn't always have to be that type of situation, like a harmful situation like a relationship or anything. It could be like at work. You know, you have coworkers that keep tempting you, keep pushing you, and you sit up and take it. And then you might be like, one day I'm gonna snap. Be careful what you tell yourself, because whatever you tell your subconscious mind, it holds it. You know, I don't know. I mean, the average person don't know. Your subconscious mind doesn't deter the difference between good and bad. Your conscious mind does. Your subconscious mind only receives information. It doesn't process it as good or bad. It just receives it. The conscious mind is what processes it as good as bad. That's why people do things and then afterwards they be like, you know what, I wasn't thinking. You know what they mean by that? That means they wasn't thinking with their conscious mind. So if your subconscious mind had the ability to deter good from bad, you would never do bad. You know, you would never do bad. Because think about it, you got two parts of your mind, your conscious and subconscious. If both parts agree on an action, then you're going to do that action. You don't have nothing else to tell you against that action, right? Your subconscious mind agrees this is a good decision, and your conscious mind agrees it. Then you react from what your thoughts are. So what in you will make you do opposite from what both of your minds tell you, if both of your minds agree with each other? But it doesn't work like that. Your subconscious mind holds information that you give it. I mean, your conscious mind reacts to it. So that's why people harm people. So your subconscious mind's like, that's why, you know, that's a different topic, but be careful what you tell yourself. You say, one day I'm gonna snap, one day your subconscious mind keep on hearing that and it holds it. And then one day your conscious mind tells you, you know what, it's worth it. Is it? It's worth it. It's worth snapping on it. Whatever happens, I'm snapping. And guess what? You lose your job. You fight at work, lose your job. You know? It could be a neighbor. You know, your dog keep on using the bathroom in your yard. Or you could have your neighbor keep playing loud music at nighttime. Anything. Your neighbor keep parking in front of your house. And then guess what? You react, snap. Is it worth it? You feel like, I don't care. I don't care what happened. You go over there, family fight. You know, plenty of things can come from reacting like that. So the key thing is it worth it? That's the question we answer. Is it? To answer that question, it's the same as was it worth it? That's how you answer that question. Is it worth it is determined by you. Think about the consequences. Is it worth you potentially losing your job? You potentially get into that fight with your neighbor? You potentially, you know what I'm saying, having harm come towards your household, your family? Is it worth it? The answer to that will determine what type of life you're willing to live. What type of things you're willing to allow to enter into your life. Are you willing to allow danger to enter into your life? Potential danger or potential harm towards you or your family? Are you willing to start living on the edge of being careful where you go, or, you know, can't be out in the open all free because you got people looking for you and stuff? You know, so let's get back to the video though. So, with this woman, this looks like she reached a boiling point, and it boiled over, and she did what she did, ran the guy over, and even after that, she picked the bumper up and threw it on his back, and was still angry. So, to her, it was worth it. You know, she just got to suffer the consequences now. Moving forward, think about situations you've been in. That, you know, maybe it's not as serious as the car accident with the lady, or maybe you didn't even really inflict harm, but think about maybe just it could be something as basic as you lashing out at somebody, and how it might have affected them or hurt them or stuck with them. You know, was it worth it? You know, think about different things you might have did at your job that you got fired, you know, caused you to get fired or caused you to get demoted. Was it worth it? Think about things you might have done towards your kids that you wish you could take back. Was it worth it? You know, maybe you missed some time in their early life, Or maybe you said some things to them that you shouldn't have said, you know, or did certain things, but was it worth it? After you ask yourself all those questions, then allow that to teach you to be able to control the is it worth it. Allow the was it worth it be able to teach you the answer to the is it worth it. So that means moving forward, when you allow yourself to be angry or allowing things to build up, when you're thinking about releasing or snapping, you know, think about the was it worth it from the past and apply it towards the is it worth it. Should I snap? Should I allow? Nah. So find a way to release negative energy that somebody inflicts on you. Find a way to release it. Do not let it build up. Do not, because it has to come out. It has to be released. I mean, when you let it live inside of you and build up, it comes out eventually one day. Sometimes it's just tears. Sometimes you have people that just bust out crying for a long time. So it comes out sometime where it's not too harmful towards another person. But most of the time it comes out where it's harming. You're either breaking some of your own stuff, crashing your own car, breaking your own window, busting your own wall, you breaking somebody else's window, crashing somebody else's car, you ramming somebody, like, or you're harming somebody in some type of way, whether it be, you know, punching them, smacking them, kicking them, you know, stabbing them, shooting them. It's released though. Anger, rage is released. So the best thing to do is, as it comes into you, release it, let it out. You know, if not, you might be looking at yourself having a video like the lady have right now. 18 years she been holding that in. She released it, and now look what type of look at how detrimental it was to her. Look how bad, how horrible that was. So in closing, the real answer to the question, was it worth it or is it worth it? It's determined by the individual. As crazy as that might sound, the question is, was it worth it and is it worth it? So for a person that has actually did an action, maybe they feel like it is. That doesn't make it good, but that's the real answer. But until next time, think smart.